Greetings from the heartland of the United States, Kansas City, the city of fountains, the city of oceans, oceans of love and generosity, oceans of love and compassion, oceans of diversity and inclusion. This year, we have decided to include participants from 28 different countries, 9 Black or African American families, speakers, kids, 9 women speakers. Ayub Esen with the Dialogue Institute of Kansas City. Today, again, another day where we are connecting to people from different countries. Our host families joining from United Kingdom and South Africa. Our keynote speaker, Ohio, Cincinnati. Host groups, St. Francis Xavier Catholic Parish and Center for Spiritual Living, Florida. Kelly?
Is there more? More oceans of connecting?
Yes, kids videos from India, doctor's video from Egypt, Adhan, Islamic call to the prayer from 6 different imams, but from where they are from, Egypt, Turkey, and United States.
I love this. This year, Ramadan online this year with us is completely global. We got all the continents except Antarctica.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We'll have to find someone who's brave enough to, come to connect from their igloo, right? And join us. But welcome, everyone. I'm Reverend Kelly Isla, and joining you again this year for virtual Iftar, the fast-breaking meal. And as always, it is a pleasure and an honor and really my joy to connect with you. And I want to thank our co-host groups, so there's the Dialogue Institute of Kansas City, the Kansas City Raindrop Foundation, and the Dialogue Institute of Oklahoma City. Have helped put this together and bring this for everybody to be watching, live streaming to YouTube. I want to share a project that we have been participating in this month. It's called Giving Ramadan. And for the entire month of Ramadan, from April 13th to May 12th, is an opportunity we already give, right? It's already a month of great mercy and connecting and community and giving and charity and the oceans of love and the oceans of generosity that Ayub mentioned. So here's another opportunity for you to extend that to those that just may not have access to the resources that you do. So it's a virtual food drive. It's also a toy drive, but let me explain. A virtual food drive is, most of the time we experience a food drive as we go to the grocery store, we pick up groceries and we deliver them somewhere, and where we deliver them, that organization then sends out the food to the families that are experiencing food scarcity. Well, a virtual food drive is just, you go to the link, and Ayub is going to put the link in the chat stream on YouTube. And if you click that link, you will go to Harvesters online, and you can choose how much money you want to give. And you know what? $1 is a whole meal. So it's not even, asking for huge amounts of money. But you get to go shopping on virtual grocery aisles and allow Harvesters to then go from there and feed those that need a meal. That may not have had have had a meal today, and maybe they won't have one tomorrow. The other part of Giving Ramadan is a toy drive for kids in foster care, and that's through an organization called Cornerstones. And again, just like Harvesters, there'll be a link in the YouTube chat stream for that toy drive. And you click that, and it's a wish list. Wish list pops up, and you get to scroll through and choose whatever is meaningful for you, whatever, to your heart's content. Find something that speaks to you and purchase that, and allow a child in foster care to just have something a little extra special. We also have a 30-second video that I want to show you, that just to give you an idea of some things that have gone on during this Giving Ramadan. lots of food and water and clothing and toys and all kinds of things. The Dialogue Institute is founded on the principles of, is part of the Hizmet movement, and Hizmet means service. It's founded, Dialogue Institute is founded on the principles of the Gulen movement, which is about caring for each other, which is about science and spirituality. It's about compassion. It's about building bridges, right? In community, building bridges with people that may not normally come together or may not know each other. It's moving us out of the stranger phase and into building this world that we want, of justice and mercy, of really not just talking about oceans of mercy and justice and love and compassion, but really being that in the world. One of the signature events for the Dialogue Institute is their annual friendship dinner, which we couldn't have this year because we're still experiencing, not necessarily gathering in large crowds because of the pandemic, but I know we will slowly be moving out of that. But wanted to just mention it to you because it is a fundraiser for the Dialogue Institute. It's also a signature event in terms of bringing people together that would not normally come together and spend an evening together. Organizations and individuals that make a positive impact on the community here in the Kansas City area. And you can see here, awarding organizations and individuals for the work that they're doing. Of course, we don't do the work for the awards, but we want everyone to know that people are busy out there making a difference and being service in action. The Dialogue Institute offers a lot of different classes that once again, as we move out of the pandemic and slowly begin to congregate again, there's water marbling, there's other arts and crafts, and everybody's already creative, so you don't need to be Picasso. We already have one. We just need you to be you. But the water marbling, there's cooking classes. You can learn how to make Turkish food is some of my favorite food. So you can learn some of that. You can, dialogue over brunch. And then there's dinner with host families, which is how Ayub got me involved with the Dialogue Institute. He sent me a text one day and said, here, go to this family's house on this night at this time. And it took me a second to kind of look at the text and go, I'm sorry, what? But it was to have dinner with a family I didn't know. They were opening their door to me. They were being in service and building a bridge. And my life has been forever changed. And so I get to turn around that and extend that to others. And of course, they have to, be involved in Thanksgiving dinners because there's food involved. If you'll notice, most things revolve around food. But what better way to bring people together than to share a meal? And so bringing American culture and Turkish culture together for Thanksgiving dinners. And then, of course, the Ramadan fast-breaking dinners. Now, over the years in person, we would offer these at different churches and synagogues, at universities, at retail establishments, with police departments, the FBI, any organization that wanted to invite their employees and friends to experience the meal that breaks the fast, the Iftar, at the end of the day. We have two organizations tonight that are host organizations. If you see the videos on YouTube, you'll see that there's always a host group. And just like when we were in person, it might be a university or a church or somebody that's hosting the Iftar. Well, we couldn't do it physically, but we still want to have a host group that gets to tell us about what Ramadan is for them and their connection with the Dialogue Institute and what that relationship has meant for the person that's speaking and for the whole community. So we have two organizations, host group organizations tonight. One is the Centers for Spiritual Living that's in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And you're going to hear just a minute from Reverend Ben Jameson, who just recently moved out of the Kansas City area to Fort Lauderdale. That church is one of the host groups tonight. So I'm going to show you a video, just about a minute of Reverend Ben. And then after the video, we will see Sue Robb will turn her camera on and come up online and tell us about the other host organization, which is St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church. So let's hear from Reverend Ben.
Hey there, everybody. It's Reverend Ben Jameson. I'm the Associate Minister at Centers for Spiritual Living in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Before this, I lived in Kansas City, and I attended some in-person Iftars pre-COVID with the Dialogue Institute. I also had the opportunity to do a virtual Iftar with them last year. And the experience was so amazing because we got to have a local family who was about to break their fast, as well as a family from Germany who was doing their pre-dawn meal. To experience an entire day of Ramadan bookended by these two families in the comfort of my own home and learn so much and connect with such wonderful people was truly an inspirational experience, and one that I highly recommend you take advantage of this year. Thanks for listening. Stay in touch with Ayup at the Dialogue Institute and enjoy your Iftar.
Thank you, Reverend Ben. We miss you tonight. We miss your live presence. Yes, I'm friends with Ben, so I was seeing him on the video, makes my heart warm. So now we're going to talk to Sue, if she could bring her camera on. Sue is from St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church. You can unmute yourself. And yeah, because we want to hear from you. So
Thank you.
And thank you. And so tell us a little bit about St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church.
So St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church has been in our community for quite a while, and we are run by the Jesuits, which I like to say I work for Pope Francis by doing that. But we are located in the heart of Kansas City, kind of right on the city's dividing line between the rich and the poor. So we are a very social justice minded parish. And this is our third opportunity to partner with the Dialogue Institute for the Iftar. And we always love learning about the rich traditions of Islam. And it was interesting today because our scripture focused on love and joy. And those words really describe my every interaction with Dr. Essen and with the Muslim people I've met. So these shared meals, whether they're virtual or in person, and the shared love and joy we each have for our faiths, and then our desire to learn more to promote this understanding of respect and love and friendship that unites us. So I thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of this and for the tireless work on the behalf of the Dialogue Institute to build these bridges of understanding. And I'm really looking forward to this evening. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, and this, I think, and you said this, this is not the first time that St. Francis has done this, correct?
Right. We participated in the virtual one last year, and then we hosted one the year before.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It is interesting to go from in-person to virtual. Yeah. Yeah.
Kelly, it's not on the script, but I want to add something.
Oh, it's not on the script. You can't.
This church, St. Francis Xavier, is the first church that I have been part of an interfaith prayer service. So it really meant a lot to me. I guess it was about 6 years ago. And everyone else, I guess it was pretty new to those speakers on that day. And we had people from LDS Church, Buddhists, Jews, Catholics, Protestants, Muslims, all came together. And it really kind of has a special place on my mind and on my heart that it was my first interfaith prayer experience. So we had a pretty nice day there. So thank you so much again, Sue.
Thanks.
Thank you, Sue.
Uh-huh.
You have some kids for us, right, Ayup?
Yes.
Yes.
Just a second. You will love this. You will love this kid. You may remember these kids. The kids are from India. Let's see why they love about what they like about Ramadan.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Yusuf Kayam Ahmed and I am from India. Favorite thing about Ramzan is having iftar together. As we are a joint family, but we rarely get a chance to sit and eat together. But in Ramzan, my dad and my uncle make it to iftar every day. That's the best part of Ramzan. Thank you and Ramzan Mubarak.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Aliza and this is my little sister Shiza. Today I am going to talk about Ramzan. I like Ramzan because we get together and eat tasty food, and we also pray for Allah. We also eat sahri in the night, and our family also keep roza. Do you know Ramzan is the month of blessing? Since I'm going to be 10 in December, in the coming month of Ramzan, I will keep many rozas. Ramzan Mubarak!
Assalamu alaikum! I am Bilal and she is my sister Hanan. As Ramadan is coming very soon, we are going to share some things that Ramadan means to us. For me, Ramadan means family time. We get to spend most of the time together with our family. We offer salah together, we have suhoor and iftar together, we recite Quran together. In the evening, we get together and listen to our mother saying stories about prophets. And even we get to have fun in the kitchen helping mom prepare for iftar. All these things brings us closer as a family.
The best part of Ramadan I like the most is Iftar, when I can taste Mommy's yummy food.
Jazakallah khair and see you next time. Ramazan Mubarak.
Oh my gosh, that's my favorite part. I say it every time. I say it every iftar, like every YouTube video. I love that the kids, I love that early in the first one, the girl says, my favorite part is that we get to have yummy food. And then in the last one, when the young man was saying, in the kitchen, I helped my mom. And I think back to when I was his age and wonder, how helpful are you? Sometimes yes, maybe sometimes no, but I love them. So they just make my heart smile. I want to introduce our keynote speaker, Denise Ozbudak. Did I get that right?
Good enough.
Say it for me.
All right, the real Turkish way is Özbudak.
Ozbudak.
There you go. So
Okay.
you were very close.
Okay. Yep. I'm good at butchering names. But we had the pleasure of Denise several nights ago to be our keynote speaker. And so she's joining us again tonight. She's born in New York City to immigrant parents who came to the US in 1972 from Turkey. She has a degree in psychology and she has a master's of social work. She is a clinical therapist and has been active with interfaith organizations and events for more than 20 years. She's currently an interpreter for hospitals and medical organizations, and as I understand, is a volunteer providing therapy and emotional and some spiritual care for the Turkish community where you live in Cincinnati, Ohio, with your husband, 4 children, and your in-laws. You reminded me the other night, don't forget the in-laws.
Yes, they're learning English. They might be listening.
Oh, yes. So welcome again, and I'm going to turn the spotlight over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. So I want to say salam and may God's peace and blessings be upon everyone. And I would like to specifically thank our host groups. Reverend Ben, it must be something about Florida, keeps taking our loved ones there. My dear neighbor just had to move there and she left and you left Kansas City and went to Florida. I don't know if I'm liking Florida too much right now, but I'd also like to thank the St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church for being a part of this and having the vision of the world will be and can be a better place when we get together with our similarities rather than our differences. So I was told I have 10 to 12 minutes to talk about what Ramadan is. I don't want to get into Ramadan is this, that, the other. I want it to be more of a personal kind of logistic or give you just a idea of what Ramadan is. So Ramadan, basically, the Islamic calendar, it's the 9th month of our Islamic calendar, and the Islamic calendar follows the lunar calendar. And some people ask why does the day change every year? It's not a set specific day like Christmas is or some other holidays. And that's because it is a lunar calendar. So every year you will fast 11 days before 11 days you'll come back to from the year from the past year. So that's the first reason why our dates changed. So Ramadan is basically when Muslims all around the world, and that's a big significance about Ramadan, which when I was a little kid, I always found to be very interesting because you would have people who are heavy smokers, alcoholics, people who, don't really observe a lot of Islam's teachings. But once Ramadan hits, it's like, okay, they're able to kind of put a break on it and then become this spiritual person for these 30 days. And that shows the power, the spiritual power that Ramadan actually has. So actually in chapter 2, verse 183 in the Quran, it says, "O you who believe, prescribed for you is the fast as it was prescribed to those before you, so that you may deserve God's protection against the temptations of your carnal soul and attain piety." So there was fasting prior to Islam as well. There was, different parts to it, but there was also fasting. So Ramadan is when Muslims fast from sunrise to sunset. Now you're fasting from, when you think of it as a physical or materialistic aspect, the first thing everyone says is you're not drinking water, you're not eating any food, and there's no sexual relationship. There's nothing like that. But when you think of the spiritual aspect of it, it's not only about not drinking and eating, it's about the spiritual part, which all of your senses should be in that mode of spirituality and fasting. For example, what you watch, what you eat, what you talk about, who you talk to, what you talk about, it all comes into perspective because you're mindful, you're very careful about what you're talking to, how much you're reading, what type of activities you're doing. So it's also fasting for the soul in that sense. Now, when I think of it, when we think about whether it's any routine that we have, whether it's exercising, dieting, reading a book, or whatever it is, there's certain preparations that we have to make. If we're going to run a 5K or a 10K, you can't just get up one morning and say, hey, I'm going to run a 5K and just get up and run. Well, maybe some people can, but I can't. Anyway, so you have to kind of get your physical body used to it. So with Ramadan, when I was looking into this, I knew that the first verse was revealed in the year 610, the first verse of the Quran. That's the first time it was ever revealed. And it was a day in Ramadan, actually. And the first verse of Ramadan fasting being an obligation was sent in 1624. So 14 years it took for, but if it's appropriate to say, waited 14 years for that verse to come down, because there's a certain preparation that's needed in order for you to be able to fast. Now, when I say this, let me remind you who fasts. So anyone who has passed puberty, anyone who's healthy, anyone who doesn't have any health conditions, it is an obligation for you to fast. Now, who doesn't fast? If you have a health condition, which your health might be affected severely to an extent where your doctor, who takes into consideration that you are a practicing Muslim, says, listen, fasting is going to harm you in this or that way, you are not allowed to fast. Kids before puberty, it is not an obligation to fast. By saying that, I would also like to add that you will see a lot of Muslim families whose kids before puberty are still fasting, because just of the general atmosphere in the household, kids love to participate in it as well, because getting up for the early morning food, to eat the breakfast, having the iftars. Now I have 4 kids and they all give you a list of, I want French fries, I want this, I want string beans, I want this food, I want that food. So that becomes an excitement for them, with the prayers and everything. So they want to do it. If they're able to, if their health doesn't get affected in a negative way, they are able to fast. Elderly people, if they are on certain medications or their age does not allow them to actually they're too fragile or whatever, they are allowed not to fast. In some conditions, travelers, depending on where you're traveling, how you're traveling, there's certain things that go into that. I won't go into those details, but at the end of the day, those are the people who can fast, and those are, who can't fast. Sunrise to sunset, like we said. Now, when we think about that, we can ask ourselves the why and all of that. Now, there's, as a practicing Muslim, I can name plenty of benefits that I see as a person, as a practicing Muslim. So couple of things that I would like to say, just the not only spiritual, but more of like you're self-conscious, like you're getting ready for that race. Even before the month of Ramadan comes, you have these 2 months that are known, Rajab and Shaban, that are known to help you kind of get ready. There's holy days that are kind of put in there to say, okay, we're reminding you, you're getting ready for this marathon, you're getting ready for this marathon of Ramadan, and just, start fasting a little bit here and there so your body kind of gets used to it. If you think about it, Ramadan teaches us self-discipline. But more than that, the way I look at it is it teaches me a lot of self-respect. Being an American, being born and raised here, and having a spouse who wasn't born and raised here, who came to the United States in 1999, I can automatically see our difference in how we eat and what we eat. Because as an American, I am so used to getting what I want, in a sense where if I'm out and I see a pizzeria, being raised in New York, I'll go to the pizzeria, I'll buy a pizza. I want a hamburger or whatever, as long as it's halal, of course, I go and I find somewhere. But my husband, on the other hand, has much more control, or much more respect for himself, in a sense where, not that I don't have respect for myself, but okay, I have access to this, but do I really need to eat that right now? I can go home and have this meal. So fasting teaches you that self-control and says, hey, it's not time yet. It's not time yet. Like when we're raising our kids, what do we say? We say instant gratification or delayed gratification. Like they want that lollipop, but there's those cute little tests that they do with the kids with the marshmallows or the ice cream or the chocolate. They'll leave them there for a minute or two, and the kid will have this temptation to kind of take it, and then they pull themselves back, and it's all videotaped and whatever. So with us, until sun sets, there should be, and there is no permission that's given to you to break your fast. You must wait for that sunset. So you're being taught, like, hey, this is how it needs to be done. So I don't care how rich you are. I don't care how much bounties you have in front of you. You can have a table filled with every single food in the world, but you cannot eat from that until it's time, until the permission has been given. So you're taught a lot of thankfulness. There is, I worked out in the garden the other day, and I did all this stuff, and I was hot and I was thirsty, and I was getting mad at myself. Why would you do this when you're fasting and it's 82 degrees outside? When it was time for me to break that fast, that one drop of water, I tell you all the truth, was so valuable. It was so valuable because we take it for granted so many times, too many times. So another thing that we do is we detach from our desires. So you kind of pull yourself away from certain desires. Not that they're always bad. Like you're not like this really bad non-spiritual person before Ramadan, then all of a sudden you become angelic or anything. No, but you're definitely more careful. Your willpower, you learn how much you can actually, if it's appropriate to say, control. What you have access to. You have a pantry full of, I love chocolate. So you have a pantry full of chocolate covered almonds, chocolate covered raisins, whatever it is. But that you can't put you have the strength to go and grab it, but that spiritual side of you stops it. So another thing that, I find very astonishing is in therapy, we talk a lot about mindfulness. So you are so mindful about what you eat during Ramadan. It is the food tastes so different. Like if you have, I don't know, rice or string beans, whatever, on a regular time when you're not fasting, and when you have it when you are fasting, the taste, the quality of it is very, very different to you because you appreciate it much more. And at the end of the day, as practicing Muslim, and I'm sure as in other faiths as well, it's very important for us to have empathy, to try and understand and help thy neighbor. If there's a hadith that says, if your neighbor is going to sleep or going to bed hungry, you are not one of us. So it is very important for me to be aware of my surroundings and who is suffering, who is going through what. And by fasting, you get to kind of feel which, to be honest, to be true to ourselves, we know at the end of the day that we have a table full of food. So sometimes that aspect can get very tricky, because we can say, yes, we feel how the poor feel, we understand what it means to be hungry. Yes, we do understand what it means to be hungry, because you don't eat or drink anything for 16 to 17 hours. But at the end of the day, you're going to have that clean water, you're going to be able to have that food. So that thankfulness and that really asking, God's forgiveness for all the times that you were greedy, for all the times that you didn't give thanks for that food, makes a big difference. So another thing that I wanted to talk about was, so we're in now the last, I think, 6-7 days remaining. So the last 10 days is very important for Muslims, because there is a very night of power that's hidden within those 10 days. And what that means is, it is believed that that was the day, that night, that the first verse of the Quran was revealed. So Ramadan is a month of Quran. Ramadan is a month of a lot more spiritual reading of the holy book, the Quran, than you normally would. For Muslims, it's very important for us to read the Quran every day, 365 times a day, regardless. It means a lot to us. But during Ramadan, you'll see people reading much, much more, because just of its miraculous ways of allowing people to have that kind of desire, or to have that kind of want. And also, I just thought of this, like, if you have a friend and they speak another language or whatever, and they write you a letter, let's say in a language you don't know, let's say Japanese, I don't know Japanese. What do? Right away, I will go into, Google Translate, which you can't rely on anyway, or find a Japanese friend who speaks English as well, and have them translate and try and understand it. That's another thing that we also do. We try and read during the month of Ramadan, along with the original Arabic. We try and read the interpretations of it as well, to try and understand what the message is, to get to that curiosity. So reciting the Quran during this month of Ramadan is extremely important for Muslims. And also, the ultimate goal for us is to be God conscious, your closeness to God, your spirituality. And it's just very interesting how you actually see your mood changes automatically. You become this very calm, kind of like, just not quiet, but like just very calm and peaceful kind of person. You're so mindful and cautious about, like, I'm a New York driver, and even during the month of Ramadan, I drive differently. I'm more cautious, I'm more careful. Your every step that you take, every word that you speak has a meaning. So you want it to have a good meaning. Also, some people during the last 10 days of Ramadan, they do something called itikaf, which means you seclude yourself, if you can do it, throughout the whole 10 days. And you don't talk about anything worldly. You try not to do anything worldly. You're still fasting sunrise to sunset. You're still eating. All you actually do is go into seclusion and do prayers and so on and so forth. A lot of people cannot do it all day. Some people do it, they make the intention and they say, okay, I'll do it for 3 hours today because I'm not working now and I can do it. And within those 3 hours, they'll turn off their phone, they'll go into their room or wherever, tell people if there's other people in the house, don't bother me, I'm going into itikaf, and they'll do, their spiritual things. Some people will say, okay, I'm going to do it for 5 minutes. You'll have kids who are in school, they'll say, okay, I have a lunch break, I'm fasting anyway, I'm not eating, so let me really focus. And it's a form of meditation, a form of, for us to understand, a form of yoga, if it's appropriate to say. So that's also something that's extremely followed by or done by many, many Muslims now. Other than that, my last thing I would like to say with regards to the mindset and how it is it's very important. My motto during Ramadan is to restrain the body and feed the soul. So, keeping that in mind helps me to understand that we're not only responsible for feeding our body, which is the physical food that we eat. It is a lot of times that we neglect our soul is when a lot of problems occur to us. So hopefully may God give us all the proper guidance and the proper friendships and just meeting places and meeting people such as yourselves, and just being together in environments where we can actually talk to each other and come to mutual understandings of, we can live in this world together. We can understand each other, whether it's, and questions we always get is, you're fasting sunrise to sunset, you don't even drink water? Like, that's the biggest thing we get. You have sometimes questions that are, out of sincerity. And I have many American friends who are non-Muslims who have tried fasting themselves. And, of course it's not easy. And that just gives you hope. And it's very cute and sincere to see that individuals are open to this, and you see that spirituality of the month of Ramadan, kind of spreads out to societies. And now, unfortunately, as we're doing a virtual iftar, it was very important for us the first couple of years when we moved here to Cincinnati to invite our neighbors, and we had many families come over and break our fast with us. And it was just, a very peaceful, very, understanding. It was very nice to share our food with people who weren't Muslim and explain to them, and they would explain their beliefs. And today, because of the pandemic, unfortunately, this is the way we're celebrating it or commemorating it. But hopefully there will be days that one day we'll do it again. And I'll just finish with this. There's the prayer of 3 people that are definitely accepted. One is a fasting person just as they are breaking their fast. So when you're about to break your fast, it's very important for us to kind of the last 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, kind of focus on, okay, I fasted all day. What did I fast for? Who did I fast for? And this is the only thing that you can only do for the sake of God. There's other things that you do that you can do it so someone can see you and someone can congratulate you if you give a lot of charity or whatever. Oh, look, she's so giving, or he's so giving, or oh, they're praying so nicely, or whatever. But fasting, I'll tell you, is not something you do that for. There's no way someone is going to stay thirsty and hungry for 16 hours because I love Kelly and I want to show her that I've got the power to be able to do it. That's not going to happen. And so that's the first person. The second person is a just ruler. And the third person is an oppressed person whose prayers are accepted immediately, is something that we believe in as Muslims. So Kelly, I don't know if there's any questions, or I was trying to look at the time as well to make sure we have enough time for the call for the prayer.
We do have a couple questions, and I love the fact that you drew attention to that instant gratification, that American disease of instant gratification. I don't have a better word for it, but near the beginning, talking about self-discipline and self-respect. Yes, self-respect. Like this, it really is a sickness, this instant gratification thing. And being able to practice self-discipline. I mean, we have this thing in American culture that somehow self-discipline is some kind of punishment, when really it just enriches us and expands us and is so healing physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Like, just makes us better people altogether. But now I'm on my soapbox. So let me, so Marion, who's watching online on YouTube, she has a question. What kind of resources do you use to, quote unquote, feed the soul of your children? Do they also read the Quran?
Yes, they read the Quran. We are very, very, very blessed to have my in-laws. We are. In general, people will, if let's say, a lot of families in Turkey will send their kids to, in general, like in the summer, they'll go to Quran classes or Quran schools, or they'll have a family member teach them. But like I said, the atmosphere in the house is what affects the children. Some households, it'll just be everyone's fasting, everyone's dead. They'll sleep until it's time to break the fast. They'll get up, eat, and then, woohoo, party, and then until the next day. But if it's more of a practicing kind of Muslim family, they'll see that, you know, the parents or the grandparents or whoever's there they're reading more of the holy book, they're praying more. So they get kind of, again, this is social pressure, if you want to say, you know, just like, you know, if your kids have friends who are doing good things, so hopefully they'll do good things. So they do learn. It's very important for us in the Islamic culture to teach our kids at a young age to learn how to read the Quran and memorize certain verses in the Quran, because when we pray 5 times a day as a Muslim, there are certain prayers that we have to say. So we do make sure that they learn those at an early age as well.
Yeah, and why not start at an early age, you know, to learn how to be a good person, you know, to learn. And I mean, it's not that other faith traditions don't do that. That's not what I mean. I just to be so committed to teaching, you know, next generations that, you know, it's the love your neighbor concept, right? That most faith traditions hold, but to really not just say it, but really be in action about it. And even, you know, yeah, it just, it's one of the things while I'm not Muslim, it's one of the things I love about the month of Ramadan is the that focus on it. And those, when you talk about the couple months coming up to Ramadan, I don't know that a lot of people really, you know, have those in the West or people that just don't know a lot about Islam, you know, have an understanding of just, you know, what comes before and then the extension afterward. It's not just like this month plopped down, you know, like start on day 1, end on day 30, and that's it. But that it really is it just moves. Yeah, it moves and breathes through the whole year, just in different ways. At least that's my experience.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me see if there's another. I don't see another question here. But the other thing, what did I have? What did I wrote? Oh, you used the term God conscious. Which I thought was, you know, I hear that in my own faith tradition. But I thought, so when you said it, my ears kind of perked up, because when I find those points of connection of, you know, I love to celebrate things that are different because I don't want us all the same. And I also celebrate, I'm like, oh, hey, we use that language too, you know, just, you know, there's a lot of language that's shared, but I don't remember what you said about it. It was just I caught the term, the God conscious.
Yeah, I mean, in general, our ultimate goal is to be close to God and catch that consciousness.
Yeah.
And to be able to realize that, like I said, fasting is done only for the sake of God. There's no other power that can, yes, there's intermittent fasting, which I did as well, you know, to lose weight, so on and so forth. But you know, after a while, it's like, okay, I need to eat. I don't care at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, whatever. But that's the ultimate goal, is to catch God's mercy, to find that close connection in every single thing that you do.
Yep. Thank you. That's a wonderful note to close our time together. We're about to 8:16 here in Central Time in Kansas City, Missouri is time for the call to prayer at the Adhan. And so it is 8:16. So thank you, Denise, as always.
Thank you.
So I'm going to show a video that is made up of 6 imams doing the call to prayer, which is the prayer that breaks the fast for the day. After that, then I will speak a brief world prayer for peace, and then we'll move into meeting the families, celebrating with the families.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
And so our prayer for peace tonight comes from the Centers for Spiritual Living. I know there is but one mind, which is the mind of God, in which all people live and move and have their being. I know there is a divine pattern for humanity, and within this pattern, there is infinite harmony and peace, cooperation, and mutual helpfulness. I know that the mind of each person, being one with the mind of God, shall discover the method, the way, and the means best fitted to permit the flow of divine love between individuals and nations. I know that because the divine mind has created us all, we are bound together in one infinite and perfect unity. I know that deep within every person, the divine pattern of perfect peace is already implanted. I now declare that in each person and in leaders of thought everywhere, that this divine pattern moves into action and form, and to the end that all nations and all people shall live together in peace, harmony, and prosperity forever. And so it is now. And so Ayub has the fast is broken here in central time zone in the middle of the country here in Kansas City, Missouri. And Ayub may have had something while he was off camera.
Yes, I'm breaking my fast.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Now, actually, it's family time. We are first connecting to United Kingdom. Mr. Errol will join us. If you can turn on your camera, Errol abi. And then we will connect to South Africa. So welcome. How are you?
Well, thank you.
Thanks for joining us at this time.
It is 2:20 a.m. in the morning in the United Kingdom.
Oh, thanks for your sacrifice.
I'm just only eating my sweets, dates.
What is that? Dates?
The dates, yeah. Because I'm eating once a day.
Oh, So tell us about yourself and how you spend Ramadan and what is special about you for Ramadan. Yeah.
So first of all, I had stomach problem, health issues. And thanks to Ramadan, I think I lost about 6-7 kilograms.
Oh.
And I had gastritis in my stomach that a couple of weeks ago, I had a kind of endoscopic scan, and gastritis has been completely recovered. I believe that it is because of fasting, because of less eating, because I'm eating once a day, and usually I'm eating less than usual. So this is for my health issues, thanks to Ramadan. So what I do in Liverpool, in the United Kingdom, is we are about right now 15 families in Liverpool, but mostly they are newcomers from all over the world to United Kingdom, because United Kingdom accepts our friends as a political refugees. So I'm also a kind of political refugee in the United Kingdom. So, and also I know, because I've been living in the United Kingdom for 2 years, and I know how to knock the doors, how to open the doors, so how to do things here in the United Kingdom. But newcomers, they don't know how to find a house, how to find the telephone card, SIM card, how to open the bank account, how to go to GP, how to apply for school admission, these kind of things. And for example, if the family comes, especially in Ramadan time, most of the families came in Ramadan time, and we meet them and we help them find the suitable market, suitable halal meat. And also we go to the schools to apply for the kids for education. Then we try to help them to open their bank accounts, because it's a little bit difficult here in the United Kingdom. So, and also I take them to the GP. GP means the clinic, because you have to register if you have any health issues, and also you have to register for dental issues here in the United Kingdom. So this is my Ramadan time mostly. And but the families come to United Kingdom. Some of them, they come without a father. They come with 2 kids, 3 kids. We usually buy the kids, if they are really at the age of 3, 4, scooters, and give them as a present. And if the kids are over 5, between 5 and 10, we buy them the bicycles as a charity to make the kids happy, and to integrate here. I mean, to love England more than other countries, because right now we have got the opportunity to make the charity. So this is my life right now in the United Kingdom.
You have been there for 2 or 3 years?
I mean, almost 2 years.
2 years. I don't know if you had a chance to do any community iftars with British people there.
So it is impossible right now in England.
Now.
Yeah, it is impossible. Even we have got still the face masks, and keeping the distance is very vital still in the United Kingdom. So that is why it's impossible. But in Easter time, in Christmas time, I made a really 10 very beautiful presents, put the candies, the gifts, Turkish especially, and deliver it to 10 of my neighbors. So I was also thinking to deliver the same presents in Ramadan holiday after 6-7 days. So, but it is impossible to invite them, unfortunately.
Right. It's a different time, and you have a lot of international experience, right? You lived in Kazakhstan for 17 years.
Yeah. I lived and worked as a teacher and as a teacher trainer in Kazakhstan for 17 years, but actually I'm from Turkey, from Antalya. But I work at schools in Kazakhstan, so then I came
So how was the Ramadan there? Do you have any memorable experience that you might share?
Yeah. Kazakh people are really generous people. They like the guests, they like inviting the people, they like serving the people. When you go to break the fasting in Kazakh families, they usually serve the horse meat.
Horse meat,
So,
Kelly.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is different.
You have to eat the horse meat, because if you do not eat the horse meat, it makes them feel uncomfortable. That is why we got used to eating the horse meat. I'm really missing the horse meat right now. I wish I could eat or find a kind of Kazakh family, and so I really, but in a couple of months, let's say, it is difficult to get used to horse meat, but later on you will love the horse meat.
And horse is
It's
my
very
favorite
delicious.
animal.
Yeah.
I've
So,
not heard that before. That's interesting.
sorry.
I
Actually,
had not heard that before about having horse meat. Yeah.
So
you know,
horse meat is boiled 6 or 7 hours.
Wow.
So there will not be any difference between cow meat and the horse meat when you eat, but the smell is a little bit different really. For example, we had some teacher trainers from the United Kingdom, from United States. I took them to Kazakh families to taste the horse meat. They tasted them. They said, "Oh, lovely, no difference."
Interesting. I haven't
before
heard that before.
before having this event, I was talking to my friend who is from Kyrgyzstan, and I invited him to be part of our virtual Eid celebration, which will be on May 14th. And also he teased me, I'm gonna offer horse meat there. I'm like, and we both start kind of giggling. That's an inside joke between us. And I try to make that horse sound and tease him, hey, when you eat this horse meat, do you sound like a horse? I'm not gonna do it today. But okay, now it's the horse meat issue again. Oh, thank you so much for sharing, Mr. Errol. It's louder to listen
Thank you.
to your
Yes,
international.
thank you for staying up in the middle of the night to join us.
Yeah,
Thank you very
so
much.
much. Oh, wait a second. For
Oh,
your
yes.
sacrifice,
We
for
keep
your
forgetting.
sacrifice, Errol, we have this for you. Woo! And your wife.
Wow.
This is done by a local artist here in Kansas City.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much again for your time and joining and willingness to be sharing your feelings and thoughts about Ramadan.
Yes, thank you very much.
Now, where are we going? We are flying to South Africa. Woo! Sharmina and her family. Can you join us? Yes. Sharmin Ishler will join us now.
There she
And
is.
just yeah, thank you so much for also staying up late. And actually, it's sahur time there. And I met her through, many of you are familiar, through Advocates of Silence Turkey. She is one of the active, kind of dedicated volunteers of Advocates of Silence Turkey that are helping the, victims of Turkey purge in a in a nutshell. So thank you so much for joining us. Let's hear from you. Let's hear, who are you? Let's start with an introduction. Yes, please.
I will give to speak to my daughter firstly, and then I will carry on. Sudanur.
Hello, Sudanur.
Hello, good afternoon. So I would like to talk about Ramadan. For Ramadan, it's really important for me, the gathering of family and friends, especially this year because last year we couldn't meet up with our friends because of quarantine, but now we can enjoy our iftar together. Back in Turkey, in my neighborhood, we used to set out tables in our streets, and everybody would bring food and we would share food, and there would be endless chats until the prayer time. And one of the fascinating things about Ramadan to me is the fact you get rewards 1,000 times more for each good deed you do. That's really fascinating for me.
Okay.
And how about in South Africa? How do you celebrate? What's your favorite food? That's Kelly's question. I stole it from her.
My favorite food is mante.
Kelly, that's our favorite food.
That's mine too.
Do you have any to share with us now?
No, I'm done.
No, your mante, I mean.
Oh.
Okay,
no problem. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Sarmin. I am a dentist and I have been working for 21 years in Turkey, but now I am in South Africa. I have been living for 5 years in South Africa, and it is the 5th Ramadan in South Africa. When we was in Turkey, our dream was come to Africa land and live with the other people. And yes, it has happened. We are here with my family. It is very nice experience for us to be being in South Africa, because you know, in Turkey you are only with Turkish people and you speak only Turkish. But here in South Africa, it's like in USA. Here are a lot of kind of people who has different cultures, and the people, the South African people, are very friendly. And I can do in South Africa in Ramadan what was in Turkey. I carry on the same thing, because the people who are in different religion are very respectful to each other. And here in our residence, before the lockdown, with our neighbors, we are here 75 family. We cook our own cookies, and on the street, like my daughter says, we get our own tables and chairs, and we came together for Iftar. It is very nice experiences for us, and I am happy to be being here. And also I will mention about I am a member of a foundation here in South Africa. And now, yes, we are in pandemic days, but we are in level 1. We can come together with the other people physically now. It is very nice news for South Africa, but because the COVID-19 doesn't increase now, alhamdulillah. And every day we give average 200 people iftar, and we take every day 305 people iftar. And it is very nice for us. And sometimes we come together with people who are in need in iftar, and sharing something is very nice. Only give a package for them, yes, it is also very nice, but come together, eat together, and being in at same table, it is very nice experiences for us, and then you understand each other very well. Yes, so.
And you lived in Turkey before moving to South Africa?
Yes.
So how would you compare your Turkey and South African experience?
Yes, South Africa. In fact, I was born in Germany, and when I came here in South Africa, I thought it is very different. It will be very different life. But I see, no, South Africa is different than the other countries of the Africa land. It is not like Nigeria or Mali. It is very nice. It is like Europe here in South Africa, the life. And as a Muslim in the Ramadan, I can do the same thing what I do in Turkey, what I did in Turkey. The friendship is also very nice. It's very good, yes.
Last year or before the pandemic, were you having any interfaith events there? If so,
yes, yes.
Yeah. You want to mention?
Yes, we had. Yes, we had. Also, this year we come together with our friends in the dialogue. We have a Turkish Institute, Dialogue Institute here, yes. And we came together with our friends.
I guess we met some of your friends before, Ayşenur, or right?
Ayşegül.
Ayşegül and Aydın.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess these were the two families. Oh, I guess the family Ayşegül recommended also local South Africans. Koja, yes. Yeah, I guess her name was. So yeah, thank you so much at this time, being up, being so much energy, having so much energy and joining us. And you also deserve this. We have this for you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
We electronically send it. We don't send it through UPS or FedEx, but email or WhatsApp message. I guess anything else you want to add? Or Kelly, do you have any question?
No, you stole the one question I always ask, and I got the perfect answer about Manta, so that was good. But
Yes,
yeah,
Manta.
thank you.
We die for and we live for Manta. We love it.
But I always very thoroughly enjoy hearing how Ramadan is celebrated in different places. I think it really it helps people that don't know much about Islam, learn how much culture and family tradition and community traditions and practices really that it's not monolithic, right? That it's so special, and we make it special and we make it our own.
And yeah,
And Kelly, have you ever been to South Africa or any Africa land, Kelly?
I spent time in East Africa, in Kenya and Rwanda. I've spent a lot of time there, but I've never been to South Africa, and I would love to go to South Africa because I know it is. I've heard that before, that it is very different than a lot of other countries on the continent.
Yes, one day we are waiting for you, and also you, if Fabi.
Absolutely.
Did you mention, or did I miss which city you live in? Cape
Town? Johannesburg.
Actually, there's a student from Johannesburg who is going to a local university here, UMKC. You might know his parents. Onur Özkaya is the name of the student. Erdal is his father. But then, yeah, I don't know if you got to meet them, but they left about 3 years ago, I guess. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
It's a big city.
It's
a big city, yes, but yes.
It is a big city.
Yes.
Wow. Kelly, are we coming to another end?
We are. No. I'm sad.
No.
We need to have everybody bring their cameras up. Denise and
yes, please, Denise. See you, Errol.
If Errol is still here. And Sue. There's everybody. Yay.
Thank you so much, everyone. I know you took time out of your busy schedule and late hours in Europe and Africa. It's already Iftar time, I guess. I hope you got to eat, Dennis, to your Iftar. See you. Thank you so much.
Ramadan Mubarak, everyone.
Ramadan Mubarak. Thank you.
But we don't want to say, we don't like to say bye-bye, right? We don't like to say bye-bye. So what is the next event, Kelly? Who is the host group?
Oh, that might be me and my colleague, our Project Sanctus, which is SANCTUS, which is the Latin word for holy. But Project Sanctus, which is my organization, so me and my co-founder, Reverend Ogun Holder, will be hosting, and you'll learn more about us at the next one. Which is
May 9th, Sunday, 7:30 Central Time. Project Sanctus will be our host group. We're gonna have videos of kids from Turkey and Tajikistan, calligraphy by Yasin Bekar, keynote speaker, Dr. Melike Tamer from Dallas, Texas, adhan by 6 different imams. Families will be joining from Netherlands and Chicago. Live music by Furkan Çakın from New Hampshire. Ramadan Mubarak, happy Ramadan, blessed Ramadan.